One of the most requested videos I've had for weeks is about hydrogen water because there's so much hype about it. So many people talking about how amazing it is and what it does. So in this video, it's my goal to kind of break it down and ask better questions so that in the future, when we have these questions about something like this, we kind of develop our own filters to quickly get to whether or not this is something that we should be embracing or something that is just going to be a passing fad. Now, this one is complicated because when we really get down to the deep ends of what it's doing, there is definitely some value. And my question is always, okay, maybe something is working, but we want to ask the next question is, why is it working? And then the next question after that is, why do we need that? What's happening? So I'm going to go through a little bit here just to kind of break it down and hopefully give you some guidance onto whether or not this is something that I think you should do. And at the end, I'll tell you what I'm doing. Actually, I don't want to tell you what you should do. I want you to make up your own mind based on some of the information that we have. So let me just share some research that I found based on this. First of all, at the very end of this article, and I'm going to show you why I'm sharing this one, the conclusions do say that we need well-designed human studies with large sample sizes and long-term trials to ascertain the benefits. And I absolutely agree with that. Oftentimes people are citing studies or they're suggesting a study. Unfortunately, we cannot just take the fact that something was studied and say, oh, that's great, we can run with this, because we really have to start investigating the value of the studies. And that's kind of what this said after a systematic review on this as to whether or not it is extra healthy or a hoax. So this is a study I'll link below that we can take a look at it. Now, this study does suggest that it was reducing these inflammatory pieces, interleukin 6 being one of them, TNF alpha. So these are things that are very interesting for people. But even in this one, when we get down to the end, it does admit this study has several limitations. This study was retrospective and was conducted at a single center, therefore the data are limited. Future studies will require an increased sample size and multi-center collaboration. So we can't just jump up to the top and go, oh, wow, look at what it did for interleukin 6. We have to recognize that there are limitations on that. And finally, this one here from Scientific Report said that it was reducing inflammatory responses and preventing apoptosis in peripheral cells. And this was a randomized double-blind controlled trial. So this is kind of interesting and giving us even more to look at and some decent results. But let's get down to what it's doing. And at the end of it all, what all the benefit that seems to be, now I could be corrected on this, from what I can understand, is a reduction in oxidative damages or reducing reactive oxygen species. That's really what it says down here. It selectively scavenges harmful ROSs, not to be confused with ROUSs, rats of unusual size. Thanks for the shout out to one of my favorite movies. But ROSs, reactive oxygen species or hydroxyl radicals, thereby reducing the acid oxidation and lipid peroxidation, protecting the cells and damages from oxidative stress and apoptic injury. So, okay, we are potentially reducing something that is the result of natural processes in the body. But the question I always ask first is this something that we would be exposed to in nature quite a bit? And they're claiming that, you would get the water would get oxygenated if we're in a running stream. So there may be a time and a place where drinking water would be like, but would we have to always be drinking water from a running stream? I don't know. Maybe that would have been something that would help it. But ultimately, the reason that we're seeing benefits, I think, from this is because people are having excessive reactive oxidative stressors in their body. They have too many things that are creating that stress. So I think it's better to understand what are those things that are creating that and examine whether or not, number one, you have a high exposure. So those things, and I'll share this right here, you can do a very simple search. And this list, I think, is pretty clear. Dietary choices can significantly impact oxidative stress. Diets high in processed foods, refined sugar, and unhealthy fats. This is what we see over and over and over again. And yes, this is just an AI overview, but I would have to say that I'm in agreement with this AI overview. Processed foods, refined sugar, excessive alcohol consumption, seed oils, vegetable oils for sure. We have to be careful of contaminated foods. So things that are going to be high in chemicals, things that are going to be high in heavy metals. And okay, we are now living in a time where we have supernatural exposure to a lot of things that are increasing oxidative stress in the body, which will increase our aging. So perhaps we do need an extra bit of help for our body to do that. But isn't there a way that nature has helped us to handle this oxidative stress since the beginning of time? And the answer is yes. If we're getting foods that are rich in all of the vitamins and minerals that we need, especially those vitamins like vitamin C, whole food vitamin C, and vitamin E, all of those are there to help us bring balance to the body. So my concern with something like hydrogen water is that it's throwing in a bunch of hydrogen and then in the expectations that it's going to take care of all this oxidative stress for us. And we're not necessarily going to achieve balance in the way that we should be getting all of this help with oxidative stress. So what is my answer? I don't personally believe that it's something that I need to add to my life. I do a lot of things to help my body stay in balance and manage oxidative stress. And I'm mindful of a lot of things that would be contributing and adding oxidative stress to my life. So I do believe that there is a bit of a fad to this. I do believe that in some cases it may be helpful short term. I just don't know about the long term. I don't think at this moment, and I reserve the right to change my mind over time because it hasn't really been something that we've had a lot of information on for a very long period of time. I don't think at the moment it's something I'm going to run out and make sure that I have. Now, I did try it out for a little while. I had a lot of people. I looked at it. I did some investigating. I didn't think it was any damaging in the short term. And I didn't notice any real change from me, but that's just N of one. I've heard this repeated many times. Dr. Andrew Weil was asked about it. And he said, I don't think there's any real basis for it in a big need, but I do think there's some basis in the need for help with oxidative stress. And that is because of our lifestyle. And I think there's a lot we can do if we can just look at our lifestyle. And I don't think that this is going to be something that has to be essential for anybody to truly achieve longevity and wellness. Please leave your comments below. I will continue to investigate this if I continue to get more and more information that I think has compelled me to say, you know what, because of the world we live in, we should start using this a little bit more, or I'm going to start using it a little bit more. I will let you know, but at this time, it's not something that I feel is definitely worth putting the time and energy into. I would prefer you put your time and energy into getting whole foods and a whole list of all the essential nutrients that your body needs to be able to create its own response to oxidative stress the way that we were intended to in nature. And there are a lot of companies out there creating these devices that do this. And I know that a lot of those have been shown to not really do what they're hoping to do. So be careful of people trying to sell you a device that is going to change the water for you. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that answered the way you wanted to. If it didn't clear it up the way you would like it to have been cleared up, I will eventually be doing this in a Truth or Trend podcast episode. So look forward to that so we can get deeper and deeper into it. And again, thank you for the questions. I hope you have a great day and you find ways to stay in tune with nature and make sure that nature is staying in balance in you. Have a good one.